Aries, this is your weekly message for the week of April 20th through April 26th. I feel like some of the Aries collective has been approaching something in a way that maybe is disorganized, lacks strategy, or you're coming at it with just pure force, aggression, and domination energy. And I feel like that came up in your reading a couple weeks ago. I told you guys to try avoid doing that, especially if this is related to like a business or your career, something like that. This is all about joy, right? We want to enjoy the things that we're doing. But the biggest thing for me is the way that you're approaching this, whether it is more on the aggressive side or just more on the impulsive, disorganized, unstrategic side. It's putting a lot of, it's putting you guys in a position where you are kind of feeling the burdens of your actions, because ultimately your approach to this is pushing you to make decisions that are not in your best interest, that are not aligned with what it is that you're trying to achieve and the way that it needs to be achieved. And it's just making your job harder. It's making this journey harder on you. And to be honest, like a lot of you guys may feel like giving up. You're like, I just don't understand why it's not working. Maybe this approach works in other areas of your life. And you're like, so this also should work if I approach this the way that I've always approached things. But it's that lack of awareness or the lack of willingness to switch things up or recognize that this is not the approach for this particular thing in life is preventing you from reaching that end goal, that blessing, that abundance, success, whatever. And I think not taking the time to really look a little deeper and recognize what's going on here is putting you in this position, right? So ultimately this week, Aries, if you can take a minute to really sit down and kind of reflect on what you've been doing, or maybe take some feedback from people that you trust to kind of help you recognize what you've been doing hasn't been working, I think you guys can turn this around. Absolutely. I think if you approach this with a more level head, less impulsive, a little bit more strategic, or if you take things in a measured way where you're not just attacking things or trying to force things to work or force people to do what you want them to do, and you approach this from a different way, you can absolutely have everything you want and more. That business, the stability, the freedom, whatever it is that you're trying to pursue, it can definitely happen, but you just kind of need to A, start from scratch, and B, approach it differently than how you've been approaching it. And maybe there's someone out there in your life that can help you work through that. Some of the oracle cards I got for you guys, we got creativity. I think you guys have a lot of creative energy, a lot of great ideas. It's just how you're implementing them may not be working. I got brazen for you guys as well. You guys have a lot of energy. Like I said, you have big, bold Aries energy. You guys want to just attack things, and sometimes that's great, but I think it needs to be channeled more constructively in this particular case. And then at the bottom of the deck, you guys got manifestation. I absolutely think you guys can make whatever this is happen. It's just the approach has to be adjusted a little bit. All right, Aries, that's what I'm seeing for you guys this week.